Hello, and welcome to another episode of Coach and Coffee. If you do not have your coffee, and by now you should know that you should have your coffee, go ahead, get the coffee, come back. A little bit of rain last night, so it's still foggy out today, but it's starting to clear out, and so you can kind of see down into the valley a little bit, but not a ton. But I love the fog. I love racing in the fog especially, so this is perfect weather. It is cool and wonderful out right now. So today we are going to talk about good sportsmanship. Thankfully, this is not a problem we run into often in OCR. Generally speaking, the community is a very good sportsman-like community. There are a lot of good sports. A lot of people treat each other really well on and off the course. But there are times, and I'm sure most people have experienced this, and it's going to happen in any sport, any place where you're competing or taking on a challenge, where some people are so into the activity and they think they need to be so mentally strong and so exuberant and excited and so focused that they're just completely rude to everyone else and don't really give a crap about anything else. And that's not a great place to be, because it kind of ruins a lot of the experience for other people and yourself. So as far as just maintaining good sportsmanship, you can be focused and driven and going all out on the course and still be a good sportsman. Still have a good attitude, still treat people well. So in the open heats, people are allowed to help each other. They don't have to help each other, but one way good sportsmanship is shown in the open heats is by helping each other. Say, if you don't do that, it doesn't make you a poor sport. If you're trying to run a race and set a certain time for yourself and everything, that's fine, go ahead and do that. But for a lot of people, they need help on certain obstacles, especially later in the day as obstacles get more filthy and muddy and ropes get covered in mud and things get slicker. You may need extra assistance. So if someone helps you, help the next person too. That's good sportsmanship. In the competitive waves, whether it's age group or competing for money or whatever, you're not allowed to help each other. So being a good sport there partially means not helping the other person. But it also, unless you're just playfully bantering with someone, it's not about trying to tear them down. There's no need for that. If you feel you need to tear someone else down, again, we're not talking about playful, fun banter that people love to do and all that. That's really fun sometimes to smack talk with each other and just know that you both actually respect each other and you're just having fun and playing around. But there's no need to actually try to tear someone else down. Generally speaking, and this is a standard I've always held true in my mind, if you're competing with someone and you feel the need to try and devalue them or their abilities or something, it's probably because you are insecure about your own. So, how about you focus on yourself? And again, this is not a common problem that I've heard about in OCR, but it's important that everyone's on the up and up and everyone treats each other really well and everyone is a good sport. Being a good sport also means following the rules regardless. So even though there are some rules in different races that I don't really like, or I think an obstacle could be better done if they change the rules or something, whatever rules are on the books at the time that I run the race, it is my responsibility to follow those rules. And if I do not follow them, whether it was purposeful or not, I need to accept the penalty for it, whether it's in the moment when someone at the obstacle tells me, oh, you did that wrong, you need to go back and repeat it, or whether it's after the fact some different races do, where they penalize you time. So it doesn't honestly matter what your intentions were. During a race, if you broke the rules, you have to pay the penalty. And unfortunately, that's just true in life, generally speaking. People get mulligans, but when you're paying for something and potentially there's money on the line also, mistakes aren't allowed. So, be honest. follow the rules. That's good sportsmanship. I'd say probably the place that I've seen poor sportsmanship in obstacle course racing hasn't actually really been on the course. It's been at the finish line, and again, rarely, but sometimes people will have a bad race. Either they weren't feeling good that day, they were too tired, they were drained from all the workouts they'd been doing, they hadn't rested before the race, maybe they failed an obstacle or 2 or 3, it just wasn't their day, they had a really poor performance in regards to what they can normally do or think they can normally do. And that's happened to everyone. That's happened to me. Just things go wrong and you're like, shoot. And then you start like getting down and getting mad or whatever. But at the finish line, I've seen people be very rude to the staff. It's not that they're trying to be rude to the staff or to the other racers. It's that they're so caught up in their frustration for what happened. And I understand that. Again, I understand being frustrated when you don't perform to the level that you're capable of. But you need to try, and this is something I have to keep in mind as well, you need to try your very best, even when you are frustrated like that, not to take it out on other people there. Because one, unnecessary. If there were mistakes made on the course, that's your fault. It's my fault. Whoever made the mistakes, that's their fault. It's not the fault of the other racers or the staff. So don't take it out on them. Don't try and, maybe you're not even trying to do it, but don't ruin their day because you had a bad day. It's good sportsmanship. I always like to be as friendly with other athletes as I can. I'm not a super outgoing person. That's why I can sit across from a camera and talk and not have to have someone here with me for all these episodes. And then I'm out in the middle of nowhere doing this. I'm not a super outgoing person, so I'm not like buddies with everyone I meet, but I try and be very friendly with all the other athletes because I respect them. I respect the work they put in. I respect them coming out and doing the same races, and I love competing with people, especially people who are really good competitors, because you don't test yourself against the worst standard, you try and test yourself against the best standard. But just being friendly with people, it's going to make everything much more pleasant out on the course. I will admit there are times when I've seen athletes do things on course and off course, and I'm just like, what is wrong with that person? And then I start getting a bad attitude about it, or I start thinking, man, that guy's a jerk, or whatever. But they may not be. It may just be I'm catching one moment and a quick snapshot in a full time of things, and then, maybe I don't talk to them and, get to know them better and try and understand those things because I'm too caught up on something else. Good sportsmanship. Talk to people, get to know each other. If you don't like someone, whatever, just don't interact with them. That's fine. But, maybe try and get to know them before you decide whether or not you like them. And again, I'm not against, you can like or dislike whoever you want. A lot of people are like, oh no, you have to like everyone. No, you don't. You don't. But you should treat everyone well, even if you don't like them. So be good sportsmen out there, sportswomen, I don't care. You know what I'm talking about. Treat everyone well, follow the rules, have fun. It's going to make it a better time for yourself and everyone else. I know you probably all know this, but it's good to hear it reaffirmed. And maybe someone watches this and they haven't been a great sport in the past. I've had a race or two where I finished and I wasn't a great sport just because of how I thought I performed based on how I could have done. But we already talked about that. All right, that's it for today. I will catch you next time on Coach and Coffee.